figure out what I'm going to say here. I'm going to start. I'm going to get this off my chest, but I mean, some of my close friends know this information already. And I'm going to turn the comments off if I can figure out how to do that for this VR response. And this is a VR response to Chad's question number 5. We were talking about, I mean, what are the negative influences that have made you a better person in your life? The negative influences, because they were so wrong, that, and maybe you weren't strong enough, big enough, wise enough, for whatever reason, to fight it. But it made you a better person, had a positive influence in your life. I mean, for me personally, I never knew my father. My father was a Korean War veteran, and God bless my mother. She never said a bad word about him. The only thing she ever said was she felt sorry for him. But all my balance problem, my hearing issues were because of my stepfather, or my father, my birth father. And he came back from Korea a totally messed up person. And that'll happen to anybody that's in those situations. So grew up with a single mom who was on welfare, and the harder she tried, the more difficult they made it for her to get off welfare. I mean, we were poor. My mom would take us to Wiener Schnitzel or something to buy hot dogs, chili cheese dogs, and we'd drive around the divider and park in front of the FTD florist and eat hot dogs with my mom, talking about the flowers, and my mom would always sing, all kinds of songs. Got my ass beat at school on a daily basis. My brother got shanked because he was white. I mean, my first day in first grade, I came home from school and asked my mom, "What's a white-ass bastard?" I didn't know. I mean, you aren't born with prejudice. It's something that's learned. I got suspended from daycare for calling a Hispanic woman a honky, because I thought when you got mad at somebody, you just called them a honky. I didn't know. So these are things that are learned and are taught and then learned, absorbed. And I was that typical 50, 60, 70, 80 pound, 90 pound weakling. But I was also the guy that guys didn't want to fight because I wouldn't stay down. I'm just stubborn. Flash forward, I'm 11 years old or something. My mom meets a guy, school teacher, teaches history, English, and math, and they get married. After a couple months, he starts insisting we call him Dad. And not long after that, if I didn't call him Dad, I was literally thrown into a wall, like Superman without the superpowers. Molestation, and this went on for 8 years. And I'm turning off the comments because I'm not looking at sympathy. What I'm doing is acknowledging this, and It's this question I particularly like because it forces you to look and recognize the shit that potentially could have happened in your life or through your whole freaking life. And come to a peace with it, let it go, forgive, and realize that you've overcome so much. Okay? And I haven't even collected my thoughts. This wasn't planned. I took this, my whole life has been a fight, feeling like I lost and what I failed. And thank you, Chad, because our conversations forced me to do a little introspection, and realize how much I have overcome. And sometimes bad things happen to people, and it makes you a better person, it makes you a stronger person. Sometimes, like my case, a more opinionated person. So, doesn't mean we lack compassion or understanding. It just means we've seen more than most of our peers have probably seen at that point. So I would urge all of you, think about this one. If you can pony up like I'm ponying up now and kind of bearing my soul a little bit, if you can do that, it will take a world of burden off your shoulders when you realize what you have overcome, what you have surmounted, that you are actually a good, caring person and you didn't end up like the piece of shit that ruined or made your childhood miserable. Kudos to you. It takes a lot of introspection. It takes a lot of brutal honesty to admit these things, let alone say them publicly. So I would encourage you to do it. Cast your demons out. Okay? Love you guys. Every single one of you, honestly.